What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Custom Points Live. I'm your host, Jarrett, and welcome back to the live stream. If you saw our last video we just posted a second ago here, we talked about the Bilt two-player strategy, and got a response from Bilt where they basically explained that the spend on an authorized user card counts toward the fast track for that authorized user. So if your authorized user also owns another Bilt card, you could essentially combine both of those cards in their spend to get status that much faster and that much more profitably with points. So just as an example, you could have the Bilt Palladium card like I have. And with the Bilt Palladium card, I'm planning on getting 3x by using the point accelerator and using option 2. I'll get 3x on up to 25,000 in spend. And on this card here, that is where that spend is going to go. Then I could theoretically have my wife open the Obsidian card. And with that card, we could spend 25,000 at groceries if we select that and get 4x on that spend. And if we made sure that I had an authorized user card for that Bilt Obsidian, and we only spent on that authorized user card, then that would allow me to have 25,000 plus 25,000, which is $50,000 in spend, getting me platinum status with Bilt, and I would have 3.3x on 25,000 of that spend, 4x on the other 25,000 of the spend, totaling 50,000 in spend, getting 3.5x blended on average, and that's not even including the housing spend that would get me 3.33x, obviously, depending on what your housing spend is. Mine's pretty small, so I don't really factor that in that highly. But that's my plan, is to see exactly how the authorized user plays out once Bilt is live tomorrow. The other thing that's holding me back from having my wife apply for the Obsidian card immediately is the fact that, well, two things. A, we find that it's easier to have her budgeted on a different card, and I'll talk about that in a second. But the other thing is that Bilt used to have the ability for you to refer others to Bilt. And I would like to be able to refer my wife to Bilt and obviously get points for that referral. So I'm not going to have her apply for that card until we need to, because I frankly don't really need the Obsidian. She right now uses the Hilton Surpass card. And the Hilton Surpass card, if you're not familiar with it, is fantastic. You get 6x at groceries, 6x at dining, 6x at gas. I'm sure I'm thinking of forgetting something else. You get 4x for online purchases, which includes Amazon, and 3x on everything else. You also, every time you spend 15,000 on, or once you spend 15,000 in a year on the card, you are able to earn a free night reward, which for us works out to be around worth 7x. So that means at base, at minimum, even if we're spending in a non category spend, that's 10x base on that card. You can buy Hilton points for half a penny each, so that works out to be a 5x return, 5% return on that card at minimum, and that's at the points cost. And then we choose to redeem those points for high-end redemptions, and we get something like sometimes 4 cents per point back, which I know sounds crazy, but we do. At minimum, we get 1.4 cents per point. We will not redeem Hilton points for less than that. We have a stable way to do that. These are some kind of advanced strategies, and if you'd like to learn more about advanced strategies, you can send an email to custompointslive@gmail.com. As you guys have heard before, I don't plan on sharing anything on in a public way like this that's going to be detrimental to others that are using these kinds of systems. So I will tell you all the details of things that are public and belong public, but anything that's private like that, I would love to share it with you, but just on an individual basis. So send a message to custompointslive@gmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to share further details. Now, another thing that I do with my wife using this Surpass card is, not sure that people know you can do this. I didn't know this until recently, but you can make an authorized user card. And one thing that's important, this is kind of an advanced strategy, but nothing that you shouldn't know about. If you make an authorized user card for someone that that's not on this card, of course, then what happens is it gets reported, especially if it's a personal card, gets reported to their credit. The problem with that is if you're trying to, if you're concerned about something called 524 status, which again, if you haven't watched my 101 video that describes exactly how different application rules are for different banks. There's certain application rules that you want to avoid with someone like Chase. And so it's not a good idea for me to get my wife an authorized user card of this card. However, what I can do is get an authorized user card for myself with my own account. And so that's what we've done. You can change the name slightly. So instead of it saying your full name, you can make it just your first initial. And there's nothing wrong with your spouse using that card. So once you've made an authorized user card for your spouse, you can actually contact, or you can do it yourself online, American Express, and you can set spend limits on that authorized user card. So instead of having my wife use a debit card, which doesn't let me to earn any points, I can get an authorized user card in my name essentially. So it's not adding to her 524 status, and I can set the authorized user card to a certain spend threshold. And during that card member month, she has that much spend to use. If she goes over and it gets rejected, she can just let me know, and we can always add more balance to a higher limit to the card for that month or whatever she needs. But at least that way we're able to kind of watch spend. We have that set up as its own account. So that's one thing that you can really do to still benefit from points, benefit from all the spend on a card like this that's getting you a minimum of 5% back if you're redeeming properly. Well, that's just for buying the points. And really what we're getting back on this card, and I'm not kidding, 40% back on our spend. Every dollar we're spending, we're getting 40 cents back in value. On some of these other videos that we're gonna have here, I'm gonna show you the redemptions that I've gotten. Last year alone, I've earned about over $100,000 worth of travel that we actually went on, and that's not including all the extra points that we still have accumulated that we haven't used yet. So I'll be planning on showing you all that. So as far as what are my plans for Bilt, we haven't decided exactly what we're going to do with getting my wife the Obsidian card or not. But for now, I do have the Palladium card. I plan on having 2 cards in my wallet. And if you're familiar with what these cards are, here they are. So these are the 2 cards. This is the dining card that I'm planning on using. And I also use this for foreign transactions. If you're in this game and you like to travel, traveling is where it's at. And if you're not in the country, this card gets you 3x on all of your spend when you're not in the country. It gets you 3x on dining. And you can also use this card to pay rent on Bilt, and you get another 3x on that spend. So for example, you're paying 3% for that to be able to do that, but you're getting 3x points on Atmos. Now, the other thing is if you own a Bank of America account, they'll also give you another 10%. So everything I just said 3 for, it's actually 3.3 that you're getting on all of those. So that's for dining. And that means that if I did have the Obsidian card and I chose that category to be groceries, then I would use this card for dining, and I would be able to get all the Atmos points I want for Alaska. I would use this card for catch-all and pretty much anything. And then I would use the Obsidian card for groceries. And obviously you could use it for 3x in travel. So when you're not out of the country, when you would use this to get 3x, you could spend on the Obsidian and you would get 3x for anything related to travel. There's certain limits on what exactly they'll allow to be travel. So those are my 2 cards that I'm going to have in my wallet. That's it. The Surpass card will be what my wife is going to use. And that's going to be this card right here, the Hilton Surpass card. And those are my plans as far as what's in my actual wallet as of tomorrow when Bilt goes live, Bilt 2.0. Before we end this stream, like I mentioned in the last one, we're going to just keep doing these quick streams so that when people do watch later, they can hop in and they can just kind of watch a video at their convenience. I'm not a big fan of these long lives that I have to watch later. So I wanted to break these up into more bite-sized, manageable lives. And you guys can feel free to participate. Please comment. Please let me know what you think. How are you planning on using Bilt starting tomorrow if you are? And welcome, Partha. Thank you for the comment. We'll be more than happy to help you with your points. So anybody has questions, feel free to comment. And I'm going to end the live here. If you guys have any other things that you'd like to know, please feel free to comment on the video when you're watching this later, and I'll be more than happy to help. But I'm going to go live again with further details. Thanks, guys. Be well.